Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Liz. So today is going to be my top 10 monster shows. So this could be werewolves, zombies, vampires kind of series. Okay, so the first one is Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now I believe this was a comic series and turned into a TV show and a movie. So there's a lot of media out there for Buffy the Vampire Slayer, obviously, right? So this specifically is the series. So this has about 7 seasons. It was released in 97 and it ran to 2003. So Buffy is this girl who lives in this town called Sunnydale, and basically it's a gateway for all monsters and supernatural demons and stuff like that, and she is there to slay them, primarily vampires, but she deals with other kind of different monsters as well throughout her 7 series. So with the help of her friends Willow, Xander, and Cordelia. Honestly, I loved Cordelia. I loved her character. So moving on to kind of a spin-off. So this is Angel. So it ran about 5 seasons. It was released in 99 and ran through I don't have another terminology for it, but it ran until 2004. It received 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. So this basically takes place after Buffy and Angel break up and Angel moves to LA. So Angel basically is a vampire with a soul, which is quite different, I guess, compared to the other vampires with no souls. So basically he goes to LA, and again, supernatural related issues, other vampires, other people with supernatural abilities. So moving on to number 3, True Blood. Now this is right, y'all, this is HBO series, so you already know the nudity is on 100. Okay, don't watch this with your kids. This is a rated R. Listen, I was watching scary shows, films, whatever, when I was a child, in the single digits. Okay, can't say I had nightmares. I can't remember. I definitely had nightmares, but it wasn't because I was watching a scary movie that night. I love horror films. So this ran about 7 seasons. It was released in 2008 and it ran until 2014. It received 70% on Rotten Tomatoes. So basically this follows a waitress named Sookie. They're always small towns, right? But she never quite fit in with everybody else. Turns out the girl's a fairy. She got powers. And there's vampires, but everybody knows that vampires exist or whatever, so they're just co-mingling and stuff. Okay, moving on to number 4. Now y'all might call me corny for this, but so be it. Moving on to number 4 is The Vampire Diaries. So it ran about 8 seasons long. It was released in 2009 and ran until 2017. It received 86% on Rotten Tomatoes. So basically this was based on the novel by L.J. Smith, and it follows a girl named Elena and her first meeting Stefan and Damon, and there's a doppelganger named Catherine, and Elena's best friend is a witch named Bonnie. A couple of her friends turned into vampire. Child, it's high school mess mixed with monsters. Loved it. Moving on to number 5, The Originals. So this is kind of, again, another spin-off to Vampire Diaries, but child, it could literally be its own independent series by itself, because it kind of is. But yeah, it is a spin-off from Originals. It does, obviously, the original vampires. So it follows Rebecca, Klaus, and Elijah, and the witches, obviously. It was New Orleans. So yeah, it runs about 5 seasons long. It was released in 2013. It ran until 2018. It received 84% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now there is another spin-off on Netflix that follows Alark and his little school of witchery and stuff like that, but I haven't gone through 1 episode, and it kind of looks a bit corny to me. So y'all let me know if y'all watched it, and would you recommend me watching it, because I don't want to invest my time. So basically Klaus is a hybrid. He's like a vampire and a werewolf. Child, his storyline alone, he was basically the bastard child, and the father hated him for it. Anyways, Elijah, he's my favorite. I like Elijah. Rebecca, she a little bitch, but you gotta respect her. And I feel like if you live so long, you just stop, and you're a vampire. I don't remember which humanity switch is going where. I don't know who got it, but I feel like Klaus never had it. But yeah, with Rebecca, I feel like you lived long enough, and if your humanity switch is not on, you don't care. You don't have time for formalities. We don't care. But you can tell she cares. Specifically about her brothers. But moving on, you'll get to know these characters once you watch them. Moving on to number 6, Black Summer. I have previously mentioned this in the top 10 zombie movies I recommend. Now, if you watch Dawn of the Dead, these are the same kind of zombies. These zombies are on crack. They are like fast, man, and just ruthless. It received about 78% on Rotten Tomatoes and was released in 2019. I believe they just recently released a series in 2021. I'm not sure the year, but I did watch it. So basically this series follows a group of survivors from a zombie outbreak and they attempt to find refuge. Okay, so moving on to number 7, The Walking Dead. I feel like this carried on one season too many, but I still love all my characters. I still love this series. But I think after they killed one character, Glenn. Sorry, spoiler. After they killed Glenn, I almost stopped watching. That episode where they were in the circle, the way Negan came out with Lucille, his bat, after that, I was going to quit that show. I'm not going to hold you. And some of them actors was about to quit that show after they made them film that scene. So this runs about 10 seasons long. It was released 2010. And by the time I was writing this, it was still running. I don't know now. I haven't caught up with it, quite frankly. I stopped watching cable television after a while. This received about 81% Rotten Tomatoes, but I think they have since ended it. And then there was a spin-off of Fear the Walking Dead. I didn't watch that one, but it looks just as good. So this was a comic book series by Robert Kirkman. It follows Rick, who was a sheriff when the outbreak happened. There were so many different locations. There was a farm, there was a prison location, and then they had this whole community that they ended up building. So it's 10 seasons long. There's a lot of history there, okay? But it's good. I don't know where I recommend ending, I guess, until you're sick of it. Because this is how I feel about Pretty Little Liars. Side tangent, but this is how I feel about Pretty Little Liars. After a certain amount of time, I'm like, who the hell is A? I'm sick of this. Tell me who the fuck A is, okay? I'm sorry. I'm sick of it. I don't care who she is anymore, and I stopped watching. Yeah, The Walking Dead, it's a zombie outbreak show. So, moving on to number 8, iZombies. This was cute. The theme song is so catchy. I love it. And they always start off with the episode with like a kind of like little animation, but then it's obviously like real life characters. It's really cute. So it basically follows this mourner. She was in nursing school, but then after like this party she got scratched, she became a zombie, so she had to figure out a way to like get brains, to eat brains. And when she eats the brain, she gets visions from the brain. So then she works with the coroner's office to try to find these, help these murderers, right? And she kind of plays it off like, oh, I'm a psychic. But really she just eats the victim's brains. And she gets visions to help her, like, solve the murder. So this ran about 5 seasons long. It was released in 2015 until 2019. CW, that network, be coming out with some good shows. Okay, moving on to number 9, Being Human. So, what happens when you have a ghost, a werewolf, and a vampire in one room or one apartment, right? You get this, okay? For some reason, in this show, werewolves and zombies can see ghosts. But honestly, I love their dynamic. It's really cute. It's like a cute, funny show. So, Being Human ran about, 1 season long. It was quite short-lived. It received 73% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it was on Sci-Fi. Y'all remember a time where Sci-Fi used to always have the scary movies coming out every day, and I was on that. Moving on to number 10, Beauty and the Beast. So this ran about 4 seasons long. It was released in 2012 and it ran until 2016, and IMDb had a 70% rating. I couldn't find Rotten Tomatoes. It didn't make the cut, I guess. Anyways, so it follows a detective named Catherine and a Dr. Vincent Keller. Basically, he saved her early on in a car accident and left her mother to die, and that's some unpacked trauma. And he was experimented on, and so he has horrible raging side effects. I mean, kind of a red flag, but why do we romanticize this? He's a good guy. So I do have a bonus series. Now, I typically leave bonus series for foreign films or foreign series, things where you have to have subtitles, for some people that's a deal breaker. It was a really good zombie series. I believe it was Korean, and it is called All of Us. So it basically follows a group of surviving children, or school-aged children rather, and through a zombie outbreak, and it's honestly really good. Again, zombies aren't 100. They're not like the slow zombies. They rage. So yeah, that was my top 10 recommended monster shows. So werewolves, zombies. Why do I keep saying werewolves? Werewolves, zombies, and vampires. If you watch this video all the way through, comment down a zombie or a vampire or just a wolf if you feel like it. Like, comment, subscribe because YouTube makes me say this. And yeah, bye.